Good afternoon, good evening, hello, and welcome to LCJ Live. It's Sunday, August 11, 2024. Thanks for being here. We got a lot to get into today, and I've got some turtle power because of Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The new animated series available on Paramount Plus right now, and thanks to the folks there for sending me some cool stuff. And we got a lot to talk about today when it comes to the box office, and the results are in. And It Ends With Us comes very close to beating Deadpool and Wolverine in a lively V. Reynolds showdown. Wow. $54.2 million for Deadpool and Wolverine, $50 million for It Ends With Us. That's $104.2 million for these top two this weekend. The predictions for It Ends With Us kept growing over the last several days. I went to a showing on Thursday night that was nearly sold out, and wow, the numbers just kept climbing for this adaptation of the popular book. It had 7 million from the Wednesday, Thursday previews. It added another 15 million, I believe, on Friday, and we're at 50 million for the weekend. This is a huge hit for Sony, a huge hit for Blake Lively, director and co-star Justin Baldoni. Jenny Slate's in the movie. I didn't care for the film. I think it's got so many coincidences and ridiculous elements. It's melodrama crazy, and the performances aren't very good, and scenes feel kind of corny and cheesy, and there's a lot there not to like, although I do like it more than another new movie that opened up this weekend that did not perform well. We'll get into that in a bit. But yeah, It Ends With Us is a hit. I mean, it's going to probably do more than Where the Crawdads Sing, which was a sleeper hit for Sony 2 summers ago, opened to 17 million, total 90, unless everyone who wanted to see this movie, and I think everyone who did really want to see this movie went this weekend, goes and nobody wants to go again, or nobody else goes, this is going to pass $100 million domestically. It's a August hit, a much needed August hit for theaters. That's not a superhero comic book movie, and that's not an animated movie. It's kind of rare to see a drama like this perform this well in August, but here we are with It Ends With Us. If you're watching live on YouTube Live, thank you. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment if you want, because I'll read your comments here live on LCJ Live. Your number one movie for a third weekend is Deadpool and Wolverine, though I gotta say, It Ends With Us put up a good fight, and when the actual results are released tomorrow, you could see Deadpool drop a little, you could see It Ends With Us rise a little, and therefore maybe there's a shot that there's a change, but I think Deadpool is still safe at number one with 54.2 million. Its total is 494.3. That's $500 million domestically, and it has now passed $1 billion worldwide. A massive hit for Disney and Marvel. Disney had so many major announcements over the last few days because of D23. I like a lot of the announcements. You got new Cars attractions at the Disney parks. You got Incredibles 3. You got our first look at the Lilo and Stitch movie that's going to go to theaters, which is awesome. One of the announcements I'm not a fan of is the fact that exclusive episodes of The Simpsons are going to be on Disney Plus. Now look, they're doing this with Family Guy for Hulu, but The Simpsons has always been different than Family Guy. The Simpsons is what kept the Fox network on the air. The Simpsons has been around for 35 years, and they have decided to put the two-part Christmas 35th anniversary celebration episode of The Simpsons, brand new, as a Disney Plus exclusive, not to air on Fox, as well as two other upcoming episodes that are not going to air on Fox. They're going to be Disney Plus exclusives. To all the diehard Simpsons fans who are still with us, I think you got to be upset today, because you're like, what? I have to get Disney Plus? I have to have Disney Plus in order to watch The Simpsons, a show that I've been able to watch on Fox for 35 years? And you're telling me that because this show started as a Christmas episode 35 years ago, and I've been a loyal fan for 35 years, that now I have to watch that celebratory episode in a different place and pay money for it? That's not going to fly with the diehard Simpsons fans. Not a fan of this. Not afraid to say it. The folks at Disney make a lot of good decisions. This is not a great decision. I think there will be some backlash. I think the people making The Simpsons can't be happy about that. They want their work to be seen by as many people as possible. Now, you could argue that maybe the viewership will be higher if you have the Disney Plus viewership versus the Fox viewership. But numbers and algorithms are different than loyalty. I still believe in loyalty. A lot of people don't in this business. I still believe in it and integrity. And the loyal fans are not going to be thrilled that 4 half hours of The Simpsons, new episodes exclusive. Plus, Fox always needs the content to show on Sunday nights during Animation Domination. Yeah, they got 7 or 8 shows in the works. The Bedrock show with Elizabeth Banks could be coming in a year or two, maybe. But they've got a bunch on the air. This new show called Universal Basic Guys, which starts next month. But they always need something on that Sunday night. And so you're going to prohibit Fox, at least for now, from airing 4 half hours of The Simpsons and 2 half hours of Family Guy. When they always need the content, that doesn't seem right to me either. If you maybe put them on these platforms a week early, say, oh, you want to see it a week early? Go here. Then it'll air on TV. But to say you have to go to these places and that's where they're only going to be, probably for a long period of time unless there's a change, that's not going to sit well, even with the diehard Family Guy fans. So I think that's a mistake, and I think Disney and Fox should change this, and I think the makers of these shows should fight it. That's my opinion on the Simpsons situation. Whew. But there you go. I like a lot of the other Disney announcements. That one, you made a mistake, Bob Iger. You made a mistake. Number 3 this weekend is Twisters, which added 15 million. It's at 222.3. It's a good number. It's a very good number. Twisters has a shot at 250 million domestically, because I think it'll still do okay all the way through Labor Day, and then Beetlejuice is going to come in and just wipe everything else out, probably for a little while, and then the animated films in September. So Twisters has a few more weeks to do some decent numbers at the box office. In 4th this weekend is one of the worst movies of the year. This is a dud. Borderlands. Ooh, I saw this on Friday. And it was me and like 4 other people. Bad. Just a bad action, adventure, fantasy film. I call it Borrowlands because it borrows from every other action movie ever made. It's not funny. There is no purpose to it. It's not entertaining. There's no humor. There's no heart. Kevin Hart doesn't even get to be funny. He's playing the straight man through a lot of this. He doesn't look like he's having a good time. Kate Blanchett sort of looks like she's having a good time, but she's one of our best actresses. Tar was amazing. She won the Oscar, of course, for The Blue Jasmine, as well as The Aviator. But yeah, Borderlands is a complete miss. Eli Roth, ooh. It looked like a Guardians of the Galaxy ripoff from the beginning, and that's what it is amongst many, many other films. Just $8.8 million for Borderlands this weekend. That is a flop from Lionsgate. You're not going to get Borderlands 2. Some video game adaptations work, and some do not. This does not. Claptrap, Jack Black, all that dialogue, terrible. Just terrible. Jack Black not having a good summer. He had a good spring with Kung Fu Panda 4, but with this and some other things going on, Jack Black not having a good summer. Number 5 is Despicable Me 4, which added 8 million. It's at 330.1 million, and it has passed Oppenheimer to become the 10th biggest Universal Pictures movie of the 21st century. It's close to passing the first Minions from 2015, and then it's still a little ways away from Despicable Me 2 and Minions: The Rise of Gru, but very strong here, 330. Off of a $75 million opening weekend, it made 30, 40 million more that Wednesday, Thursday, but very strong. Family still looking for things to see, and may even go see this twice, and that's why it is still performing very well, now passing Oppenheimer. Wow. Number 6 this weekend is Trap, the M. Night Shyamalan movie that I like the first half of a lot. The second half is alright, not amazing, but you got to drop down to 6.7 million this weekend. It's at 28.7. Shyamalan continues to struggle. Knock at the Cabin didn't make a lot of money. I think it only totaled 35. Old only did about 47, 48 million in 2021. This is not going to hit 40 million. Whoop, there goes the Turtles. It's a cool pizza bag. I got so much great stuff. Watch Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on Paramount Plus. I hope this stays up. I'm gonna try to get it to stay up. If not, I'll just lay it down here for a second. M. Night Shyamalan is struggling, and he moved over to Warner Brothers from Universal, and the results still aren't great. I think I don't know what he's got to do. He's got to get big names in a movie again. Yeah, Dave Bautista's a name, although that new film Dave Bautista's doing looks terrible. The Killer's Game. I saw the trailer for that the other day. Oh my gosh, the premise of that is horrible. Dave Bautista, Knock at the Cabin. This movie is Josh Hartnett. I think some Josh Hartnett fans went to it, but then you had Old, which didn't have huge names in it. So maybe he's got to get, Samuel L. Jackson back in a movie, or even James McAvoy, who's got Speak No Evil, which comes out September 13th, which the trailers have given away so much of that film. I mean, people are going to go see it because it's a horror movie, but I think the trailers spell out everything. But maybe Shyamalan's got to do that. He did great work, especially with the first half of Trap, but these movies, these last few, are not connecting with audiences. Pete Crooks, your favorite Alien film, and when are you seeing Alien Romulus? Well, we'll find out if I'll be checking it out. I'm seeing a bunch of movies lately. I can't get to everything. Pete and I were communicating on social media the other day about Longlegs, which I still haven't seen. I've seen a lot of films. I've seen 141 new movies this year. I can't get to everything. Sometimes I play catch up towards the end of the year. I've got a bunch of films I'm seeing this week, and some I've already seen, and some more I'm getting ahead early on. So I may see Alien. The original's a classic. The one from 2017 was so-so, not amazing. I think I skipped Alien versus Predator, Aliens versus Predator, Requiem. I saw the Predator movie from 5 or 6 years ago. That was all right, not amazing. So we'll see how Alien Romulus does. That is the big movie coming out this weekend in terms of theatrical releases, but there are other movies, other films I've seen, and a lot of other things coming out that we'll talk about here in a second on LCJ Live. So 28-7 so far for Trap is not great, and Shyamalan is struggling. Number 7 this weekend, Inside Out 2, which added $5 million. It's at 636.5. No Inside Out 3 yet, but we'll see what happens. Here's the thing, though, everybody. Guess what? Inside Out 2 has passed Barbie at the domestic box office. Inside Out 2 passes Barbie. You can thank the inflation, ticket prices. You can thank that for Deadpool and Wolverine. There were $2.50 surcharges on Deadpool and Wolverine tickets. So you can thank all of that as Inside Out 2 tops Barbie at the domestic box office, and it is the highest grossing animated film of all time. The 2019 Lion King movie is not animated. It's the photorealism thing, just like that Mufasa movie coming out this December. In 8th this weekend, Harold and the Purple Crayon, which did all right during the week. I thought it was going to do a little better this weekend based off the during the week numbers. It dropped about 50%, 3.1 million. It's at 12.9. I thought if it did another 4 or 5 this weekend, it could have a shot at 25 million total. It may try to get to 20, but I think it'll fall short. Number 9, Cuckoo from Neon. Not the long legs numbers, not even what Immaculate did, but still one of the bigger opening weekends in the history of Neon with $3 million. A lot of the Neon movies didn't open wide, so that's part of it. Ferrari had sort of 2 opening weekends because it was partial to Christmas, so it was still a little under that, but still one of the bigger opens for Neon, $3 million. But not exceptional. And rounding out your top 10 this weekend is Longlegs, which added $2 million. It's at 71.3. Alien Romulus is the big theatrical release this weekend, and I think some people will go, the diehards will go, but I'm not sure if it's even going to do $30 million this weekend to top Deadpool and Wolverine and or week 2 of It Ends With Us. It Ends With Us could drop big. It could drop down to about 15 million because of everyone wanting to see it right away. That could happen, or people are like, wow, what is this? I need to see this. People who weren't thinking of going, who see the 50 million open and go, wow, maybe I should see this. Maybe it'll do over 20, but I'm thinking It Ends With Us is under 20 million next weekend. I think Deadpool's still number 1 with about 30 to 35, and Aliens somewhere in the 20s, unless the fan base is big enough where everyone wants to see this right away. So it's kind of a wild card. 20th Century Studios didn't have a huge hit with the first Omen earlier this year. That only did 20 million total. but Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes with 171 million domestically. This Alien movie will fall somewhere in between, but I think its opening weekend could beat the first Omen total of 20 million, but not Deadpool. But we'll have to see. They're both Disney. I'm sure maybe Disney would like to see Alien #1, so we will see what happens. A film I have seen, actually a couple, that come out Friday in theaters. One is My Penguin Friend with Jean Reno, which is based on the true story of this relationship between a guy and a penguin who keeps visiting him every year for a number of years. I am not allowed to share my opinions on it until Wednesday, but My Penguin Friend from Roadside Attractions is out in theaters nationwide Friday, and I think it'll do a little bit. It'll bring in some families, but the marketing hasn't been huge on this, and I don't think it's even going to make. It may beat Harold and the Purple Crayon next weekend if that drops to 1.5 million, 2 million. I could see it making a few million, but it probably won't beat Despicable Me 4, maybe even Inside Out 2 next weekend, but it'll do a little bit. A indie wild card is Skincare, which stars Elizabeth Banks. There are preview showings of it tomorrow in theaters nationwide, but critics are embargoed until Wednesday morning to share their thoughts on Skincare. This is a dramatic thriller inspired by true events. Elizabeth Banks character, boy, I want to say so much, but I can't. I'm embargoed until Wednesday morning. But Skincare is out this week. It's from IFC Films. They acquired it fairly recently, putting it out for a nationwide release, and we'll see how Skincare does this weekend. Could do a little bit. Elizabeth Banks has done a little press on this, but we'll see about Skincare. My thoughts on that and My Penguin Friend coming at you on Wednesday. Pete Crooks says the first Omen is terrific, and my kids saw Harold yesterday. I couldn't drag myself. I think Harold and the Purple Crayon is good for 6 to 10-year-olds. I really do. I enjoyed aspects of it. It's not perfect. I talked with the director, Carlos Saldana, had a great conversation with him. He worked at Blue Sky Studios for many years, Oscar nominee for Ferdinand. But for 6 to 10-year-olds, I do think they'll have a good time with Harold and the Purple Crayon. DD goes nationwide. I haven't seen that yet, but I'll check that out at some point soon. Dance First, which I review with Mike Sargent, along with The Instigators, which is terrible, on the latest episode of the Too Fast, Two Films podcast. For that, go to toofast2films.com. Gabriel Byrne is excellent as Samuel Beckett. If it's playing near you, go see it. It's also coming to digital this Friday. The Deliverance, which is Lee Daniels' new horror film, is out in select theaters Friday ahead of Netflix August 30. And then you've got The Union, which is on Netflix Friday, which I'll be checking out at some point as well. Mark Wahlberg and Halle Berry. So those are all the new movies and things happening in the world of entertainment and motion pictures and television. The Olympics ends today, and now we move on with the rest of our lives. If you were addicted to the TVs for the Olympics for a couple weeks, we now come back to a lot of other things happening in television, new shows starting up for the fall. The Emmys is on the way, and big movies as well. The end of August has Reagan and Blink Twice, and then Beetlejuice, Speak No Evil, Transformers, The Wild Robot, and more for September. Thank you for watching today's episode of LCJ Live. Cowabunga. For more, go to lights-camera-jackson.com. That's where you get the entire LCJ collection list in the blog section. X at LCJ Reviews, Instagram at LightsCamJackson. Thanks for being here. I'll have more movie reviews and updates and more during the week. Thanks for watching LCJ Live. Have a good Sunday. Have a good week. We'll be back here next Sunday at noon Eastern. We'll see how Alien Romulus did, and we'll preview Blink Twice and the Supremes movie, which I've already seen. The Supremes at Earl's All You Can Eat, which has some good performances, but it's got too much story. We'll talk about all of that and more next time. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.